Hello guys and gals of the internet, I'm Mr. Gals of YouTube and Twitch TV. We'll be meeting up with Tom Many Games in just a second. This is a little more overdue than originally planned. Oh boy, do we have some stories to tell you. We will go through them as we go along, but as you can see, whole different front door. We are in. We are in, ladies and gentlemen, and boy, have we had some trials and tribulations in the first, I would say, week since we've been here now. I think it's been over a week now. But we've had some things to sort out before we get to this point. So pretty much like my very first video I did back in 2012, and probably only a couple videos more since, which is when the house got when that house got redone a little bit after a couple of computer setup changes. We're here to do an actual tour of the house. Now, I took that original one down, and I'm not really sure why. I don't even remember. But this one will, of course, stay up. We're recording with a tablet here to start off with, so audio and visual quality might not be great. But we'll go as we go along. And like I said, I think it was the update we did before we moved in here, it's quite funny because I ended up in my house in 2012. Actually, it was a bit before that. I think it was like 2008, 2009. Lived there for so many years. We moved out when the plan was to live in a caravan down in Tame's mum's. Moved out again when that whole situation happened. And now here today in 2022, I'm pretty much 5 minutes away or so, 10 minutes drive from being back where I originally started. quite the weird irony there, but it's as you can see, the front door is a bit of a mess. It was funny because, like we said in the previous update, this took 8 weeks to wait for. And let me tell you, it's a world of difference to what I was doing before. Not least of which, Tamari is living with me this time, whereas initially she wasn't. So let's begin the house tour of 2022 then. This is pretty much going to be the house for the foreseeable future. Oh, I don't see us moving out here for quite some time. Let's say that. Certain things would have to happen, and we're kind of nowhere near that yet. So at least for the foreseeable future, this is where we will be. So we'll start at the front door. Obviously, I won't go outside because I don't want people noticing where we are and shit. So I won't do that. So big difference to the previous house is the storage here. Actually, is we'll start with this door. This is where like the boiler would be now. It's gonna be hella dark. I could probably switch some lights on, but this is gonna be really nothing interesting anyway. We might as well show you what we did. Well, we did. I didn't say we did anything. But as you can see, it's a lot more like storage space. Now, this is the whole storage area, so ignore the mess. But at least it means in the main rooms, they're pretty tidy now. Which I think in the previous house they were, but I only had one storage room. The freezer went in that place. I don't think I ever showed that, but that's where the newest freezer I got originally went. I don't think that was there at the time, because when I first moved in and the video you saw a few years later, that actually wasn't what it looked like originally. That was when Tame's mom actually redid the place, let's say. And yeah, so that video you saw in the refurbishment video, that's actually not what it looked like initially. But as you can see, and that's a storage place, and that's a storage cupboard over there. So we'll go in there in a second. So yeah, it's at least with all this in here, you know, some extra boxes we came in, at least they keep out of the way of the main room. So that's actually helpful. So if we turn around here, shut the door. This is going to be a bit of a mess because I've obviously got to carry this around. So the bedroom here is actually a lot bigger than the original one we had. I think it's probably smaller than the one we had in the caravan when we moved, but obviously it's still a lot bigger than. The thing about this house here is that it is generally a lot bigger than the one I was living in before. Well, before I moved to the caravan with Tommy's mum and everything. So very much different drawers. Now, in this scenario, I think you may have seen in the refurbishment videos I did back in that time when my PC setup changed and everything, that the bedroom didn't feel, I say, natural, I guess, because what was in there was that TV on top of a chest of drawers. Now it's actually on a stand. This actually feels like a bedroom now. You know, the drawers are free of any rubbish apart from a mirror and a thing there. But as you can see, it's like rather spacious, which is all good. So that's, yeah. The bed is the same bed we had before we moved, but you've probably never seen it. So, yeah, we got one of those blankets here because that's the thing. Now we're back on the ground floor, so to speak. It's going to be cold, but we have the heater to do that. So we've kind of, but we've got to be careful, of course, because energy bills and everything. You know, with the cost of living and everything going up. But yeah, it now feels like an actual proper bedroom now. Some of these consoles are down there. Yes, of course, the wires are going to be all over the place because, you know, I don't think we even have a scenario where we can actually make the cable tidy. And if you think this is a mess, you should see later. But yeah, it feels like an actual bedroom now. You know, the TV's on a stand here, which is actually great. Actually, really cool. I like that. So it actually is a lot better. It feels more like a natural bedroom now. You know, without the TV on a stand and everything. So yeah, as you will see, if you remember those refurbishment videos, as I said, this will probably feel a lot bigger to you. Now, as we enter the bathroom here, this is where the first of our unforeseen stories come in. Now, of course, yes, it's a bathroom. It's nothing really exciting, I know, but the shower there. That's not the original shower, because one thing we originally very quickly noticed a couple of days in is when we actually went to have a shower. Obviously, Tom Lady has a seat to help her out and stuff. The shower wasn't working. The shower didn't work, which is amazing considering, you know, before we moved in, we had 8 weeks of work done to the place, because obviously this is very different from what we were doing before. This is very similar to what I was doing back in the early 2010s, let's say. So it's very similar, but apparently the shower didn't work, so we had to get that replaced. That happened yesterday, so thankfully, yeah, we got that fixed, and we didn't have to pay for that, so that was a relief. But yeah, one of the things was the shower didn't work. It worked for maybe a second tops. When you switch it on, it goes straight back off again. What actually happened was that the guy come round and he opened the shower door to look on the inside. The whole inside of the shower was rusted to hell. It was barely standing on its last legs, and I'm not even sure how when it was being done up that no one noticed that beforehand. He did say that maybe, you know, when they tested it initially it worked, but yeah. So, but thankfully we got that fixed. I wouldn't say problem, but the only thing with that shower that's different from the previous ones is that it's not as powerful. At least from initial wash we had yesterday. So we'll have to, Tom Lady wants to try a couple of things. She wants to kind of test out how it would be in another situation. So we'll know that more in due course, I guess. But bathroom's pretty small, doesn't need anything big. Of course, it's a bathroom, it doesn't need to be huge. The one difference to the previous house, though, is that I actually have a cupboard to put my towels and things in. So that's different. That's the one big difference from the previous house, because I didn't have that before. My bedroom, the bathroom is smaller. This even though it doesn't look that big, it's still bigger than the bathroom I had before. So yeah. So like I said, the thing you'll notice about this house is it's a lot bigger than the previous one I was living in. Now this is the real where everything is packed and it's dark as shit, so you can't see. I don't even know if I can see the light switch here, because there's just there's boxes and bags everywhere. You can't see spit, unfortunately, but yeah, there's coats and bags and things in there, and I can't. Can I turn this on perhaps? I don't want to leave the lights on too long, because it's middle of the day here. But this is where pretty much everything went. Obviously, there's boxes of DVDs down there. The only reason they're down there is because we don't have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player. I'm assuming when we get one, we'll move all those out and put them into a cupboard in the sitting room, which we'll go in a second. But yeah, lots more storage. So that's the good thing, at least. Even if it does look a mess, at least it's a lot more storage stuff. And it's easy to reach, because it's right there. Now, here is Tommy again. It's in her natural habitat. Well, our natural habitat, I should say. Now, look at this. Now, this is much bigger sitting room than we had before. Now, to be fair, that could be because we have a lot less in here than we did when it was actually done up. But even then, it's still massively bigger. I mean, look at this. It's like the biggest sitting room ever. As you can probably tell. Oh, look! Just changed some decorations here. Yes, I am lifting the thing up, because if I don't lift up what I'm holding, it'll go over the camera. So we got a little bit Christmassy in here. Yeah. Unfortunately, the lights don't work.
True, yeah.
That's another thing. The lights didn't work. Apparently, one of the battery things is gone in them. So, the spring, like there's no spring on the other side. So, unfortunately, we can't have any lights in here. We might have to buy some new ones, babes. Maybe. I mean, we already are in the first week of December now, so there's still plenty of time to put that up. But, yeah, no consoles there this time. Because, if you remember the stand from the previous house, like the previous house I was living in, it was all on a stand in different places. It's tidier now, as you can tell. That's where the cables are the most tidiest, to be fair. Yes, and I finally got that Michael Schumacher picture back out. That was one my mum gave me. That's one I've intended to keep, obviously, through my mom. We have a clock now. We have a doggy clock. Oh yeah, that actually reminds me of this picture I forgot to show you. This was actually Tommy's mum's picture. As I've probably mentioned before, I became much more of a dog person over the last couple of years after inheriting Tommy's sister's dog. But I think your mum was always a dog person, wasn't she?
Yeah.
It's always been dogs in your family, isn't it? Oh God, I forgot to pick up the crisp packet and put it in the bin. Oops. So the kitchen is, I don't know whether it's bigger than the previous one or smaller. I think it's smaller actually, but...
No, it must be bigger because we've got a washing machine and a tumble dryer.
Yeah, I was going to say that. The size was a bit like, what if at first, but we have pretty much everything now. We have pretty much everything. Like, I didn't have a dryer in the previous house. I mean, it had a fridge, but it was a lot smaller than that. And now, there's where the freezer is. So that's a big difference to the previous house. I have a fridge freezer now. I didn't have that before because the kitchen wasn't that big. So yeah, you're probably right. It probably is bigger. It didn't look that big at first, but actually, now that I think about it, and now that I look at it, it is cleaner. And this is the second story. That washing machine isn't the original either. Oh boy. And this is another reason why this video took so long. Basically, yeah, the washing machine broke in transit, more or less. We don't really know how, but basically what it was doing was it was filling with water, and the water wasn't draining in there. We figured maybe it was just like something to do with what was happening, but that actually wasn't the case. It was actually broken. So myself and Tommy had to fork out for this one, which actually works. So, and the dryer is new as well. That's the original dryer. The dryer still works, thankfully. I didn't have a dryer before, but we're not really going to use that very much. We're only going to use it for maybe bedding and towels. We're not really going to, because cost of living and everything, we don't want to be overusing it. So the dryer is a big difference. The fridge freezer is the big difference from the previous house because we didn't have that before. And basically, the only thing we're missing is a microwave. We need to pick one of those up because
the removal man forgot to put it in the blooming.
Yeah, and what was the other thing? Your crutches, wasn't it, babes? Yeah.
I need to replace.
So yeah, we had a shop yesterday, so there's the bigger thing of washing up liquid there. But basically, yeah, everything from the caravan, I guess, for the most part, is actually here. Well, this was actually Tommy's mother's stuff.
A lot of it's my mum's stuff, actually.
Yeah, Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah,
Famous.
yeah. But yeah, it looks very small, but it's actually perfect. It's bigger. It's big enough to fit everything in. So, yeah, I was thankful. So I think that leaves us with the last bit, which is over here, and this is my natural habitat. This is where everything is. It's blurry as shit for some reason. I don't understand why, because I'm not fully zoomed in. Why is that so blurry? I'm sorry, guys. This is very blurry for some reason. Here we go. It's fixed itself. So yeah, only the one PC. Basically, we wouldn't have been able to get two in here anyway.
Yeah.
But Tom Lady really just came to the conclusion that she wasn't really using it. The previous house wasn't viable for both anyway. It was very cramped, wasn't it?
Plus,
And you didn't really...
I have got a Steam Deck now anyway.
Yeah.
So I can always use that.
Yeah, sorry. So the big thing is, of course, the internet. Oh my word, it's a Virgin Media router. Oh my god, thank goodness for that.
500 meg downloads.
Yes, because like I said, the internet wasn't...
So it only took an hour to download Warzone 2
Oh yeah,
for me.
pretty much an hour on the PlayStation, yes. Oh, that's going to be a godsend. And now I can play fighting games and everything again. I'll talk more about that in a bit, about what's immediately coming up. But as you can probably tell, but maybe not, move this chair out of the way. The cable management is, of course, a mess. As you can probably tell, it's awful. But to be fair, yeah, it's out of the way.
So,
My cable management wasn't good for the consoles in the previous places, so it's not like it's anything new, you know. But thankfully, this new plug thing down here is actually one with multiple switches on it, so we can actually turn on one we use rather than have it all on at once, which was that's a big plus actually. But nothing really has changed here. It's just one computer now because we wouldn't have been able to get to it. Like if it had gone there, then Tom Lady wouldn't have been going past there to get through there. So it's really for house reasons and just being like overly cramped, and it's
but
not
as you
now.
can see, we have a table as well to eat
Oh yeah.
at.
And this was another reason, like put the table there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to put the computer there because of the heater.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have wanted that like going up. So it really wouldn't have gone anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
You know, because I think over there, with the tree, for example, I don't think there's any plugs that way. Is there?
Only two.
Yeah, only two, and Tom Lady would probably need about 4 or 5. So, yeah. So, but she decided very early on that she wasn't really using it, and she had a Steam Deck anyway.
Yeah.
So she still plays PC stuff, but it's just on something else. I think that's pretty much it, to be honest, for this part.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got sofa now, which is a nicer one than the one I had, but I think I'd had that one for ages and didn't really, I suppose, yeah, it's different, it's, I'll talk in a minute. But yeah, basically we inherited most of this stuff from my mom. The only other thing was missing was crutches. That's the Hoover over there. Oh, I'll actually show you something else I actually got in here. This mop is awesome because it's one of these mops that my sister showed us, where you can press the button there and it sprays the floor. So, yeah. Very different, obviously. The biggest difference is Tom Lady being here this time. We're actually we're official now, yeah, because obviously back when I was living before, she was with her mom, and then after that we living with her mom, and now we're living with her together now, yeah. So it's official for the first time. But yeah, pretty neat house. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I really like it.
I'm very happy with it. It's very nice.
I can get around it pretty much easy enough now.
Yeah, I really like this place.
Nice
It's awesome.
area. We've not had any, we've not had anyone causing us any issue.
I know,
we've not
right?
had any fights or shouting, screaming outside or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean the one person that we had was a house person, was actually a pretty nice person.
Oh, she's lovely.
So, but the council was still a bit, because it's a council place.
Yeah,
the councils are still a bit.
Yeah, I've got to phone them Monday because they've not emptied our blooming bins.
Yeah,
They're supposed to. So.
We're still having issues, but we're getting there.
Still having teething problems, but anyone does when
Yeah.
you move, so there you
So
go.
yeah, I'm very happy with
But yeah,
this whole
I
thing.
do like it.
This is actually a lot. I was happy with it when we first moved in, but after it had all been done, I was like, you know what? I'm so glad I'm here.
It's really nice. I mean, my bank accounts took a hit, but
Yeah, mine too. It was worth it.
That's what happens when you move. You know,
Yeah.
just get Christmas out of the way, and then
Yeah.
go into safe mode.
But
So-
hopefully after Christmas it will pretty much settle down.
Yeah.
So.
Should
But yeah, very, very, very happy with this. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I say it's a downside, but not really, because we can't drive anyway.
Yeah,
But the only downside is parking. You can't park right outside.
yeah,
So people have to kind of park sort of down the road a bit and try and find us. But
Yeah.
so far, everyone's managed to find
Just
us,
take
so
it
it's
easy.
not so bad.
yeah, which is actually great. 'Cause
Yeah.
actually we're not on a road
Yeah.
either. We're actually
We're in
more
a little, like-
indoors.
I think you'd call it like a courtyard type thing,
Yeah,
really.
you'd probably be right,
So yeah,
actually.
there's no parking right outside. So.
Yeah, you'd probably be right.
But we don't drive, so it's not really an issue for us. And
Yeah,
so far, everybody's managed to find us that's needed to. So,
pretty much, yeah. We had two shopping deliveries,
Yeah.
a bunch of takeaway
Couple of
deliveries. I think we have
takeaways,
like
yeah.
2 of each, yeah.
Your dad's managed to find us. Your
yeah.
sisters have managed to find us.
Yeah.
Obviously, my mum knows where we are because she helped us move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just hope my cousin can find us when he comes to visit next week.
Oh yeah, because he's hopefully coming, so
Yeah.
be awesome. Okay, so this is pretty much the view you'll be seeing in any vlogs and streams that I do for the foreseeable future. The one thing I actually forgot to mention in a previous part was the Wave microphone you saw here. That's not the original one either. That broke when I was actually trying to set everything up, and the mic fell off the table and snapped off the stand completely. I think it would have still worked, but as it wasn't really on a stand, it would just look weird, so I had to replace that as well. So as you can tell, we've had a lot of trials and tribulations moving here, and this is why this video as a whole is really taken a week or so more to come out than it originally did. But good thing it did, because we actually got to show you like the whole thing. It's just a couple other things, finance and everything wise, that we just need to sort out on our end now, and then we'll pretty much be done. But we have no real timestamp on when that's going to be, so we'll just have to play it by ear. But we're going to be okay. We'll sort it out. Myself and Tom at Games, we've always made a very good team, so we'll sort it out. And speaking of that, let's talk about what's coming in the immediate future then. So, obviously, as you noticed, the most important thing really is, as you noticed, there's only one PC now. So, that means Tommy has no recording equipment at all now. Basically, when she with the PC on, she moved pretty much everything on with it, the microphone, the capture card, and everything. Because as you just saw, we would have had nowhere to put it. Even though this living room is so much bigger than the previous house, we would have just nowhere to put it all. So in that respect, we're down to one PC. But what we do have planned is we have consoles to do all co-op stuff, but without any recording equipment, it's going to be put on hold pretty much. And we have no real timestamp for when it's actually going to come back. It will just depend on when finance can be sorted and Tom Lady can pick all that up. We're not going to rush to do it. And even if we could rush it, we don't really want to, because we have to focus on other stuff. So this house right now is pretty much going to be our priority, most likely. So, I mean, we weren't spending a lot on ourselves anyway. So it's not like we were spending money on ourselves anyway. But now everything with this house, we have to basically, what's the word? Pay for everything ourselves, basically. You know, all household bills and stuff. So we have all of that, and that's pretty much going to take priority. We will obviously get stuff for ourselves from time to time, but this is pretty much going to be the priority for the foreseeable. And we still need to build our bank accounts back up anyway, because like Tommy said earlier, we've gone through a chunk of it already, just getting everything either replaced or put in, or buying some extra stuff for ourselves that we wanted, that wasn't hella expensive, as it were. So, yeah. So games like obviously we had planned. I think we were thinking about Borderlands maybe, Resident Evil 6, and just some other stuff like that that Tom Brady will want to do. Pretty much postponed. I mean, we finished up Halo. We'll obviously do Halo 5 Guardians. That's another one. And the Gears of War 5 Hivebuster DLC you wanted to check out because neither of us have checked that out yet. So things like that Time Lady will want to record with us, they're all postponed. The one thing we can do co-op wise, which will be sometime soon, will be Dead Space 3. And the reason I say that is because Tame has not done any recordings on the previous two Dead Space games. I obviously played them for her. But I've obviously still got to cover it. So I'll cover it on my channel anyway. But Tom Lady was like, you know what? You've played the first two for me, and I didn't do them myself with my own capture equipment when she did have something. So we were like, you know what? I'll just do Dead Space 3 myself. So we can get to that immediately because I've already have everything set up here. And I was going to be the only one to put it on channel anyway. So I don't know whether we're going to put this on your channel as well. I'll think about that. But yeah, because it's basically me talking. So I might put the house thing on there, maybe. I should have thought of that beforehand. But yeah, so as far as that's concerned, the only co-op we'll be doing is Dead Space 3 for now. Until Tom really can eventually get her own recording stuff, which we don't really have a time when that'll be or not. In terms of me, I can pretty much start from pretty much now. I have a few things planned. I'm not, obviously, with the house taking priority. I've still got to purchase FIFA 23. And I think that's the only thing I've really got to buy, but I've also got to wait for that as well. And I also need to buy PlayStation Plus because mine ran out the day before we moved in here, which was hilarious. But for me, I've still got stuff I can do. So I think with that, we will start with the little teaser I put, if you follow my Twitter. I put a picture up of F1 2021 with the High-Tech Grand Prix and Aiden Jackson. Basically, what I'm planning to do, and I've already done the pre-season for this, I'm planning to do a bit of a prequel story to the commentary season, because of course, we had the commentary season on F1 2021. We did the whole year on that. And of course, moving to the rise of Aiden Jackson is going to be on F1 22 predominantly, with some features from F1 Manager 22. But one story that I probably should have done first, but I didn't think of it at the time, I only thought of it before we moved, was how Aiden Jackson got there. So that's what is going to be pretty much almost immediate from here. I think from here you'll see the pre-season video. It's not very long. It's only about maybe, I think, 10 minutes or so, not even if that. And it's just by detailing the rundown of the season format, the teams and drivers for the season, and all that stuff. I've already done all of that, and I just need to render it. So that'll probably come out pretty soon, maybe the next couple of days or so, because I've already kind of predominantly done it. So yeah, I'm going to do basically what I did with the F1 commentary season, but I'm going to make the prequel story of F2 in 2020, showcasing how Aiden Jackson got there, and we can have a bit more of a complete story, and it would all kind of make sense. So, you know, because this is going to be a bit of a longer running story. I don't know how long it's going to run yet, but I feel that, you know, we've already had the F1 season, we're all going to have next F1 season. But we really need to show how Aiden Jackson got there, and in F1 2021 you can do that with the 2020 F2 lineups and circuits and everything. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do for the foreseeable, because I don't have FIFA yet. So I'm going to wait on that until I can actually pick it up. It might even end up being that I just wait for it to come out on EA Play, even if it takes 6, 7, 8 months. Even if I have to do it that way, that would probably be better right now. But I'll see how money and finance is before I make a decision on that. But whilst I haven't got that, I think that would be a great thing to go into. So that's something. That's one thing I'm doing. Another thing we'll be doing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I will be also doing the NBA 2K23 Jordan Challenges, because I loved that mode in NBA 2K11, and they've also got the same stuff from NBA 2K23 and some other ones, so I'll be doing the whole of that. because I loved it, and I've even already played for Time Lady, and it's just so awesome. It was just so I've got some stories to tell that I'll tell during the matches on that. For that, so that's going to be an interesting experience to go back to the mode that got me into NBA 2K in the first place. Something else, I forget. Obviously, we'll do F1 22 with Aiden Jackson. I may do a year on F1 Manager 22. I might still do that with Haas, basically because that's where Mick Schumacher is. And to be honest, I think with the way F1 has gone this year, with Mick Schumacher being dropped from Haas, I think that's going to be more paramount to do, just to change Mick Schumacher's fortunes for it. So obviously I'll be going back to the F1 Rewriting History series as well. I have mentioned that I have to start that again because, I can't even remember what happened there. My hard drive got wiped, didn't it? So I'll have to redo that again. I'll get back to that at some point. But with that and with Time Lady, we're at a good space to kind of, if we don't upload for a while, then we're not mid playthrough or mid upload edit. And that's why I didn't want to do anything during the off time that we were waiting to get this house done, because I didn't want to be mid playthrough or mid upload edit. And then obviously we had an extra week sorting everything out as we did. So, it would have just been a mess. So there's that as well. Obviously, I'll do FIFA. Let me bring up my files a bit, because I've got some files that will tell me what I'm doing, because I've immediately forgot. So obviously F1 22. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I've got some other playthroughs I could do. Rise of a Tomb Raider, I was midway through, so maybe I should pick that back up again. Oh boy. Dead Space 3 I already talked about. I may do a GTA. I was thinking of doing maybe a GTA. Aside from that, I think that's... Hey? Oh! Yes! Tommy just reminded me of Mass Effect 2. Yes, I will be getting right back to that. Oh my, yes. This is I've had a bit of a break from it. It's been a bit of a break. I think it's time, and this is going to be pretty much sooner rather than later, probably alongside F1 2020 if we can manage it. Mass Effect 2 playthrough, guys. It's coming. It's coming. You knew it was coming. I love the first game. Second game's possibly the best in the series from what I hear. So I think for the immediate, we're definitely doing that. And because Time Lady wants to see how my story is different to hers, she's actually going to join us for co-commentary on that one. So... unfortunately, the only thing with that is I can't get two different headsets to work and play game sound, but as long as I have the subtitles on, she can read, and she's already played the game before I did. So yes, but thanks for that. I needed reminding of that because I knew there was something, and it's that I cannot wait for. And I think one more thing that will be a bit of a slow over the next few weeks to tie us over until we can get to that point. We can obviously start Mass Effect and F1 2020, F2 2020 alongside it. It's a bit of a multiplayer kind of extravaganza. Now that I have actual working internet, that's fucking insane, by the way. Almost every game I tested actually works. I'm actually able to play fighting games and shooters now without lag. I'm going to play a variety of games over the course of, I don't know, however long. And I'm going to put everything up. I'm going to play games like Guilty Gear, Dragon Ball FighterZ. I might even wait on Dragon Ball FighterZ until it gets the rollback netcode, if it hasn't been added already. But I don't think we have a timestamp for that. But Tekken 7, going to play maybe some Star Wars Battlefront 2. Just a whole variety of games. I might even throw a sports game in there just for the heck of it. Just to, all these things, like the multiplayer and the Jordan challenges and maybe F2 2020, they're all going to be like the immediate. And I think when we've covered all that and I've got back into the swing of recording, that's when we'll get to Mass Effect, I think. I think that'd be a good idea because I've not recorded in like 2 months, maybe even longer than that. So I think to tie us over until Mass Effect 2 and to get back into the swing of it, that's going to be the schedule. F2 2020, multiplayer madness of just variety of different games that I feel like playing, and the Jordan challenges for NBA 2K23. And then we'll get into stuff like F1 Manager 22, Mass Effect 2. We'll go back to Rise of Aiden Jackson for F1 22, and then we'll obviously tie in with Mass Effect 2 as well. And I'm sure Mass Effect 2 is going to be a heck of a lot longer than the first game, so that'll be one of those slow burners that we go back to time for time. Just like Mass Effect 1 was, I took kind of days breaks and then went back to it, and then took another few days break and then went back to it, and it really worked well. And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I was doing it at my own pace. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything, I think. And one last thing, I know I haven't streamed since the beginning of the year. I am going to go back to streaming, I just don't know when and what with at the moment. It was very difficult to stream in the previous house because of the way the internet and the setup worked, but now that I have Ethernet into the modem and getting the full, power of it, whereas I think in the previous house I was kind of, it was a bit of a bootleg setup because I probably wasn't getting the full benefit of the full power of the internet. Even though the internet, the house was really powerful, it's kind of pale in comparison to ours. Let's be honest, 500 meg download and about 30 upload. I actually tested an upload of a 30-minute video I did, and it was only going to take 90 minutes. So yeah, the speeds are definitely an excuse to get back into playing multiplayer. I'll throw in some BRs, I'll probably throw in some Fortnite, I'll throw in some Apex Legends. I'll just throw anything I can get into it. So that might be one that comes out over the course of the next month or so, because it's going to be quite a lot of games I want to cover. But I really want to get back into the swing of playing multiplayer games, because I haven't done it for almost a year. On and off with, say, English Avenger every so often. But then he went away for a bit. Before then he was playing Elder Scrolls, then he went away for a bit, now he's recently come back with Warzone. And of course, hopefully we will pick up Modern Warfare 2, and we will do that at Christmas as well. Yeah, that'll be Christmas, but because it normally is a Christmas purchase, we don't buy Call of Duty on day of release, and especially now with everything that's been going on, it's definitely going to be a bit of a later purchase this year. We'll have to see what we get in terms of Amazon vouchers or something. So that'll be something that's coming to Christmas. So that's pretty much it. This is everything for the foreseeable, and we'll get back to playthroughs and stuff as quick as possible. And just to reiterate, I think I mentioned with F1, F2 2020 with Adrian Jackson, that will be basically the same format as the commentator system, me commentating over the races and replay cameras and stuff, just to clear that up a bit. So let's one last thing before we head out is that I think I'm at the point now where I'm used to it. Over the last couple of weeks or so, we've been looking around when we wake up in the morning, and we've been like, we live here. It's been really odd. It's been so odd.
The good thing is, though, it is so far.
Yeah.
It is so peaceful.
Yeah.
And I've been sleeping so much better.
Oh yeah, Tama's been sleeping like a log.
Yeah.
she normally does, but she's been sleeping even better since.
Yeah, no, because we haven't got trains going by all the time.
Yeah, because we were near a place with trains before, and before then we were in a caravan, and before then we were living in a bad area. Hopefully this is the final stop, and it's the best one of the stop of all of them so far. This is the best scenario so far. Like I said, this is pretty much for the foreseeable. For years tops. We don't really know how many. I would say probably very similar to what I had before, because I was living in the previous house for 9 years. I would say for at least maybe that. It depends really on other factors that we're not even thinking about right now, if that makes any sense. Yeah, way in the future, as Tom Lady said. That's way in the future. We're not even thinking about that yet. Like I said, we've got to get married first before any of that kind of thing happens. But if anything does change, of course, we'll let you know. But this is our stop, as it were. Whew, so that was pretty much it. So from here on out, I am back. It will be a bit slower to begin with, but once we get into the swing of things, it'll be back to common uploads and hopefully streams again when we can fit it in.
Just a quick note as well. Sorry you can't really see me, but
right.
Yeah, as he was saying, I will get back to doing videos and stuff myself when I get the equipment. I'm hoping to probably get all that. I only need to get a basic laptop and a microphone and a capture card. I'm hoping to get that, finances permitting, March, April time, I'm thinking, roughly.
Yeah, Might be able to fit
Because
that
I am
in.
going to get that £100 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, I mean,
in March.
obviously, I want to make some changes too, and I won't talk about this yet because this is miles ahead. But I want to make some changes too, and that might actually be in the summer. I might start thinking about that. But that's all we'll say because right now,
because we've just got to go. We just got to let our finances
Sort this out.
build up, recover, sort it all out properly.
But yeah, I think I want to make some changes my end too. I want to do some upgrades if you guys can figure it out. I want to make some upgrades in the future, but right now, no chance, no chance. And but that'll be probably late summertime if I can get that sorted and get that started. That's when I'll let you know what's going on and what the changes are. I think that's everything, pretty much. So, yeah, we are back in action. And I hope you guys are sticking around and hope you guys are doing well, by the way. I know it's been a while.
Oh, sorry, one last thing. And if I did want to do anything before I get all of that, I can. I know it's very basic, but I can stream through the console.
Yes.
So there is that option.
Yes,
I feel like
and that'll be really good with the internet as well.
Yeah. We tested out.
Yeah, we did.
We tested out PlayStation. Because I've got the PlayStation Premium myself now, and
I'll get it later.
We tested the streaming function out because unfortunately the PS3 games you can only stream, but tested it last night and
absolutely
it was really good.
It was almost like playing an actual game on the disc.
Yeah,
it felt like that to me anyway. I don't know if you guys have done that yourselves, but myself and Tommy have been wanting to play some older games. I can't do it at the moment because I don't have premium, but things like, and now once I get that, that'll open up avenues to play God of War and what was the other one I wanted to do? I know Resident Evil Director's Cut is there. I'm waiting for Resident Evil 2 really, but I'll get it anyway.
It's got the old Infamous games on it.
Yeah, I have the Infamous. That's another one I want to check out because there's a PlayStation exclusives that I missed because they were predominantly on the PS3. I think God of War made the PS2, but I can't remember. But for the PS3, Xbox 360 era, as I've stated, I was on the Xbox 360 a lot. Tom Lady came on very late and was on the same. And then we got a PS3 later, and I only got that to do F1 and didn't have the foresight to do like Resident Evil 2 or God of War or something. So I screwed up on that one. But with the premium, obviously with the streaming, it's not going to be absolutely crisp perfect, but it's good enough for what it is. So I don't know if Metal Gear Solid 4 is still on there. If it is, then that'll definitely be coming as well. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Right. I think that's all now. Yes. Alright guys, so we are out until next time. You guys know what to do, follow, subscribe and all that good stuff. Hope you guys are doing well. We're back in action. We'll see you for the next thing we decide to do. For Time Many Games, this is Simon Kill signing off. Peace out guys, stay safe and stay awesome.